Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. This is RetroDog34, and in this week's video we're going to talk about a new player's perspective of starting Elder Scrolls Online. That's right, we're going to get into starting a new character. So one of the biggest things and one of the biggest changes in MMOs have taken place in Elder Scrolls Online. The tutorial system in Elder Scrolls Online is completely brand new. So this is one of the coolest things I've seen. What I wanted to do though is see it from the new player's perspective. I've been playing Elder Scrolls Online now going on almost 4.5, maybe 5 years, and I've not played through the new tutorial system. So I really wanted to kind of take a back step, go through this new tutorial system and see what they do and what they don't tell you about starting off in ESO. And this is not a slam at the devs or any of the developers over at Bethesda or ZOS. This is just from a new player's perspective. I wanted to see what they tell you on what certain things that they're not telling you in the game. So there's certain things as a veteran player that I know that I need to make sure I got hot slotted, or I need to make sure how to get money or how to make money. I need to do my training on my horses in the stable. Those are all different things. How to set up my character to make it the best way possible in Elder Scrolls Online. So without further ado, let's get into the video. All right, so the first thing we want to do is talk about how to set up your controller. And I'm talking about from a Xbox, PlayStation, or even the PC, how you want to set this up. So the first thing you want to do is go down into down into gameplay. Biggest thing down here is you want to talk about your friendly colors. So I changed my friendly colors. I also adjust the friendly brightness, and I'm going to go ahead and test that friendly. So as you see, the friendly colors is bright enough for me to see. So if somebody casts a spell on me, I'll be able to see it. Enemy colors I change. I take this and change it to a pink. That way I'm able to see it, and it's different from a bright red. I also go ahead and change prevent attacking innocence. I turn this on. I also do my quick cast ground abilities. I put this on, or automatic. It depends on how you want to play, but personally I put it on. Champion ultimate or companion ultimate auto cast, I have this on. I have consolidate area loot, I have on. Auto loot, I switch on. Auto loot stolen items, I keep this off. I do not want to steal items on accident. Prevent stealing placed items, I also keep this on. I also put, as far as some of the other things, you can go ahead and change. I keep my nameplates, I put these on. This way I can see what I'm looking for. If I have a guild and I want to show it off, the guild name, I put that on. Another couple things is this is where you can change around some of your other things. Health bars. I keep my health bars always active. It's always going to be on my screen. That way I could always see it. Damage indicators are always on. Some of this other stuff, you can mess around with it. You can go ahead and play with it. It just adds to the game. Lines indicators, so on and so forth. All right, so I come down to socials. This is where you could change your text sizes and your UI hub. Down in combat, you want to change your ability bars. I always leave mine to always show. That way I see what the abilities are. I always have the ability bar timers on. That way I can see my timers going off. And this is different. This is a new thing for ESO. You can also put your ability back bar timers on. Ability attribute bars you always want to have showing. This is just, again, how I set things up. My resource numbers, I switch over to numbers and percents. That way I can see my numbers and percents going off. And I always have active combat tips going off at the same time. That way when I see certain things that I don't remember in the game, or some things that go off. Ultimate number, I go ahead and toggle on. And, I go through some of these ongoing, outgoing pet damages and healer damage, incoming damage. I'll go ahead and make sure some of those are there. Buffs and debuffs are very important, especially for new players. You always want to have these as always show. Buffs on, self buffs on. I don't put other targets like self debuffs I keep on, target debuffs. But from others, I keep these off because it can clutter out the screen quite a bit and it becomes a little overwhelming. Some of the other things that you can play around with is some audio gameplay, change your camera's perspectives, and things like that. But definitely take a look at some of these, and that way you can go ahead and set it up for your playstyle. This again is set up for my playstyle. All right, next up, we're going to talk about skills. Skills are slightly different than a lot of different MMOs that are out there, right? So in your skills, you're going to gain skill levels, and they're going to increase based on what bar you have currently slotted. So currently, right now, up until level 15, you only have one bar. At level 15, you'll be able to get 2 bars. What that means is you have a primary bar and a secondary bar, your backup bar. That primary bar and backup bar depends on what you have active at the time, or what skills you have active at the time when you kill the enemy. That's going to apply the XP to that bar. Meaning if you have your primary bar and you have Lava Whip equipped, then I will get a XP to that skill because I have it active. Also, you also want to take a look at your inventory. As a new player, inventory management is a big thing. As you can see, my current capacity is only at 70, so I can only carry up at a max 70 items. If you have ESO Plus, that is a bonus for you. ESO Plus, all my crafting material goes into a separate bag. But if I don't have ESO Plus, that all crafting plus all my equipment goes into that same 70 spots. So you definitely want to pay attention to that. This is not an advertisement to get ESO Plus. I'm just saying that if you don't have ESO Plus, you got to pay attention to that inventory. So right now, what I'm going to go ahead and do is pick up all the equipment. I'm going to pick up sword and board. I'm going to pick up a great axe, and I'm going to talk about this in a few minutes. The reason why I'm picking up every weapon that I can possibly get is because each weapon in Elder Scrolls Online has their own skill level or skill line, right? So when you slot one, you'll be able to pick up that ability for certain abilities for them, right? So what I'm going to go ahead and do is go all the way down, and I'll pick up the two-handed melee weapon, right? This is a giant axe, two-handed axe, kind of cool, right? So what that does is when I kill my first enemy, I will open up that skill line immediately. So you have to kill something to unlock that skill, or that skill tree or that skill line, right? So in this, we're going to go ahead and fight off our first enemy. All right, so as you see, this is going to be challenging. Oh, look, we're already done. All right, so I've already leveled up to level 2. I've leveled up my skill line. See, skill line gained, two-handed weapon, because I killed my first enemy with this. So what I want to do at this point is not go rush forward. Because again, I don't know what type of character I want to play. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is go back and start this over. So now I'm going to go ahead and slot a different weapon. All right, so this time what I'm going to go ahead and do is I fought again on accident. I got level 3 skill lined up that one. What I'm going to do this time before I actually talk to the boss, and this is something that you want to do maybe, is go in and before you talk to her, go ahead and equip your next weapon. This one, I'm going to go ahead and equip the bow. So now I'm going to go ahead and go through this whole tutorial and kill this guy with my bow now. All right, so now that I killed it, I got my bow increased to level 2. I automatically leveled up and I opened up that skill line for my bow. Now I'm going to go ahead and do this again with our Inferno staff. That's a destruction line. So I'm going to go ahead and start the attack again, this time opening up when I'm done, I'll have my skill line for my destructive staff. All right, so now I opened it up. It automatically goes to destructive staff increased by 2. So now I go ahead and I have a bow, I have a two-hander, and I have a destructive staff lined up. So now I'm going to go ahead and claim my rewards for leveling up, and I'm going to go ahead, I'm building a stamina character, so I'm going to go ahead and put it in stamina. So now I'm looking at what skills I want to unlock. Remember, we talked about skills earlier. So whatever I have in my first or my primary bar will get that level. So either I could put the lava whip, and the lava whip is a great offensive ability. It's a magicka. It lashes an enemy with flame, dealing 400 4110 flame damage if you strike an enemy that is immobilized and stuns. Okay, so next up is spiked armor. Release your inner dragon to gain major resolve and increase your physical and spell resistance by 5, 9, 48 for 17 seconds. While active, the armor returns 718 magicka damage to the enemy and uses that direct attack. That's awesome. So again, Stone Fist. Crush the earth beneath you, dealing 4,126 physical damage to all enemies within 6 meters. Debris ripped from the ground is held around you for 10 seconds. Activating the ability again allows you to launch parts of the debris at enemy, dealing 4,126 physical damage up to 3 times. The final one stuns the enemy for 2.5 seconds. This again is a great way that you can use an active ability slotted and you can stun an enemy. Or you could pick up your two-handed. And this one is the uppercut. Slam an enemy with an upright swinging, dealing 4,745 physical damage. That is a straightforward attack. That is one of your spammables. Bow. You could go ahead and snipe. Plant a masterful aim arrow at enemies of vital spots, dealing 4,270 physical damage. Again, depending on how you want to set this up. Destructive Staff, Force Shock. This is a great skill line if you're looking at the magicka builds. Focus all the elemental energies from your staff, blasting enemies for 1233 flame, frost, or shock and shock damage. That is a great one. Again, depending on how you want to set it up. I'm going to go ahead and slot in my my two-handed, and I probably will end up picking up probably one of my skills along that line, or pick up Flame Whip. What I did now is I'm going to go ahead and equip Flame Whip in my first primary spot. That way, whenever I gain experience, it's always going to be there. So again, going through this tutorial, it does a good job, but it doesn't tell you exactly how you're going to gain experience. So that's something definitely you want to pay attention to as you level up your character. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and talk about picking locks. If you played Skyrim, this is going to be something that you've already run into this. But this is new to a lot of players coming into Elder Scrolls Online, especially from, like I said earlier, World of Warcraft. So what you have to do is figure out how to unlock certain things. So these tumblers actually adjust, and you have to move your slider back left or right. And once you do, you unlock it. Now there's different levels. So in here, this is going to be key. Loot everything. Pick up every piece of equipment. You have 70 slots. Go ahead and fill them up. Fill up everything. What I'm doing is actually going to put on heavy armor. Okay, so I put on my heavy armor, I advance forward, and I really didn't want to show you guys the full tutorials. I want you guys to, if you've never played it, experience it. It's a really cool tutorial. It walks through a lot of things. So what I went ahead and did is opened up the map. In this map, you're going to go ahead and see certain things. So you see the quest up in your top of the bar. That's your compass. That's telling you in what direction that you need to be traveling to advance into the next part for your quest. That is your active quest area. So again, if you have a mount, go into collections, go down to your mounts and equip your go ahead and activate one of your mounts. You're not going to be able to write it on this aisle, but you're going to be able to actually have it already slotted. So again, if you've bought one of the, the packs or one of the DLCs or one of the chapters that comes with the mount, go ahead and slot it right now. So I'm going to go ahead and do a quick battle real quick, and I want to show you what happens after I kill this enemy. So go ahead and kill that first enemy. Look, I automatically opened up the armor. Heavy armor is now active, and it gives me a skill. So that skill line is now open for heavy armor. So again, because I have it equipped, I'm automatically opening it up, and every time I kill something, because it's passive, I'm gaining that level. So again, because Ardent Flame is on that first bar, it's gaining that level. You have to be able to have it on that bar, and passive, whatever armor or whatever equipment that you have has to be put into the inventory spot for you to gain those levels. So again, I'm going to go ahead and skip forward, and we're going to get into the next part. Next part is quick slots. Quick slots are things like your potions or food. I quick slot food. Or if you're playing PvP, you definitely want to put in like battling rams or trebuchets or catapults or whatever. You also can slot your bankers and your merchants if you have those purchased from the crown store. What I want to go ahead and do is for my quick slots is put in my food, right? So you're going to up arrow or whatever action it is on the PC. I don't play PC, so I can't tell you what it is, but you're going to go ahead and quick slot that in. I always like to put all my food in the same area, all my potions in the same area, and all my merchants and bankers in the same area. That way, whenever I'm on different players, they're always going to be in the same spot. That way, I'm always, whenever I activate something, it's muscle memory, I automatically know where it is. All right, so remember when I talked about heavy armor and slotting that? There's going to be other items like jewelry. So again, once you find an item, like in this case, jewelry. So I ended up finding a neck piece. It automatically pops up. It's the heirloom necklace. Increases max health by 888. Always nice to have, especially starting off brand new. Once you have it, that accessory now unlocks. Notice that I don't have 2 rings slotted, right? Because I don't have them, therefore they're not going to be listed in my inventory. All right, so next up, books, bookcases. When you're coming across bookcases, read every bookcase if possible. Depending on if you're running with a group, some groups like to speed run and go through dungeons, and you're not going to be able to read every bookshelf. But if you get a chance, go ahead and read all the bookshelves. What ESO does, and it's actually really kind of innovative, is if you read a bookshelf, some of them open up skill lines. And in those skill lines, you're able to actually gain a certain skill. If you've never equipped sword and board or sword and shield, like some people call it, then you'll be able to open up that skill line. Or you might gain a skill, or you might gain experience when you open up certain books. It all depends. There are a bunch of skill bookshelves and books all throughout Tamriel. Go ahead and read everything. A lot of them will be like highlighted, glowing yellow or blue. If you find blue ones, read those. Those open up your mage skill lines. That's something you definitely want to go ahead and pay attention to. All right, so next up is your starting city. So in the tutorial, it will allow you to pick what starting city that you want to go into. I went ahead and picked Stras M'Kai. It's under the Daggerfall. I personally is one of my favorite. Daggerfall is always my favorite. But what it does is it also automatically opens up your next skill. So under World, it's going to open up Soul Magic. In Soul Magic, you want to take a look at Soul Trap. Soul Trap is it lays claim to an enemy soul, dealing 7,122 magic damage and physical damage, or 7,170 physical damage, right? But the big thing is it fills an empty soul gem if an affected enemy dies. I'm going to go ahead and jump into showing you exactly what that looks like. All right, so I'm going to, like I said, Soul Trap. This is how you go ahead and fill up your soul gem. Again, the game doesn't do a great job of showing you the reason why you want to do this. And what I'm going to show you is how to fill one up. So I go ahead and do a charge attack. I knock it down. I apply Soul Trap to it. And now it has like that sparkly bluish hint to it. It automatically filled up my soul gem. So now I started with 1 empty soul gem. It fills up my soul gem. So now I have 3 full soul gems. This is huge because what it does is anytime I use my weapon, especially if it has a weapon damage enchantment on it, like this Forgotten Adventurer's Bow, it will eventually degrade. And you'll see at the bottom left near your ultimate ability, it's going to be like a little bow and arrow that's going to be red. That means that your enchantment on your weapons has completely dissipated and it's completely gone. You need to use a soul gem to go ahead and recharge it, and that way it will bring it back all the way to fully charged. The only way to do that is with a soul gem. You can't do it any other way in the game. So that's something that the game definitely doesn't tell you, that I definitely want to make sure you guys understood. Next up, I want to talk about packs. So in Stras M'Kai, there's a huge area, but in every starting city, there's a pack merchant. This is where you buy backpack upgrades. Each backpack upgrade gives you 10 slots. So what you do is, like in this case, it costs 400 gold to upgrade my backpack. So what I will end up doing is truthfully pulling from my inventory and pull out money that I already have scattered throughout all my characters and bring this character up to 120 is usually about what I try to do with all starting characters. Right now I'm at 70. All starting characters start around that same at 70, so definitely pay attention to that. So what I want to do is make sure I increase my pack. That your backpack space is your biggest important thing in this game. This is an inventory management game, especially if you don't have ESO Plus. Without ESO Plus, it's a hindrance. It really is. You're going to have to figure out how to advance forward and not take up too much space. So making sure that you have all your characters maxed out. So I also want to show you how much a soul gem costs. From this merchant, it costs 156. From another merchant later on, and I probably won't show you this, but they're in the world. You can find them cheaper. I found one in Strasmakai for only 50. So don't run out and buy just from the first merchant that you find. Some merchants sell them for cheaper. That's kind of one of those things you want to pay attention to. I also want to show you this. In Strasmakai, if you jump off this ledge right near the, all the merchants, there is a sky shard. Sky shards give you, to collect 3, you get 1 skill point. There is so many sky shards in the ability. I remember when the game first launched, there was not enough skills in the game to get you full skill, to open up every skill line and be a master crafter. You actually had to balance which one you were going to do. Now the game has so many skills, so many skill points in the game, and so many sky shards in the game. You could literally open up every single skill line in the game and still have enough for leftover for whatever you want to do or whatever skill that the ZOS team or dev team goes ahead and adds. All right, so last up is soul gems. I really want to talk about this because this has actually popped up in my Discord and on my stream quite a bit. Soul gems are so highly important to this game. It's one of those that even when they went ahead and implemented the new Champion 2.0 system, they went ahead and kind of got rid of that altogether. And the team actually brought that back and changed how that actually champion point system actually works. And that's going to be saved for a different later video. But I really wanted to show you how to get soul gems. One of the best ways to get soul gems is actually not buying from the merchant, not finding them throughout the world in Tamriel, but actually in crafting. One of my past videos where I talk about the 7 best ways of making money in ESO was crafting. Crafting is literally the best way of making money in this game. One of the benefits of making money is getting empty soul gems. So you go ahead and do your crafting for the day. You'll get containers, and when you open those containers, they will sometimes have empty soul gems. In most cases, you end up getting at least 2 to 3 soul gems per crafting session per character, right? So these could quickly stack up. What you do is, like I mentioned in that same video, is you go to a public dungeon, you slot that skill line, and you go ahead and start killing things, looking for whatever equipment that you're looking for in the public dungeons. The one that I said in the video was in Deshaan. You're looking for Mother Sorrow. That does sell very well at level 50 and CP 160. So go ahead and start farming that and fill up your soul gems. When you get a stack of 200, they will sell to regular merchants for 6,000 gold. You can actually take those if you want to make more money and sell them to, go ahead and sell them on guild traders. Guild traders I've seen on average between 7 and 10,000. So roughly about 8K to 8.5 you can end up making from a stack of 200. That is some of the best and easiest ways to make money in this game. Again, I hope this video has definitely helped you guys out. All right, so this video was really intended for new players. Like I said in this last bit, is I've gotten a lot of questions, especially from new players, on how to recharge weapons, what soul gems are for, what type of things should I do as a new player. I really wanted to talk about that in this video, and especially with a lot of things that are happening in the MMO space, is actually show you guys how easy it is to set up your character, or in some cases not set it up correctly. So I definitely wanted to make this video for that. So without further ado, I hope you guys have enjoyed the video, and if you haven't hit that subscribe button, I definitely appreciate it. Hit that bell notification to get notified every time I upload a new video. It typically launches on Monday at 10 o'clock a.m. So hopefully you guys are seeing that video at this point. And if you guys definitely want, you could also follow me over at my Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/retrodog34, and you can also follow me on Instagram at retrodog34. I post daily motivational and gaming clips over there. I also have a TikTok, which is at that same gamer handle, is retrodog34. You guys could follow me on over there. If you want to, you could definitely jump into the Discord. I will have that link down in the description below, and you can jump in and talk about Elder Scrolls or other MMOs that you guys are looking forward to. I also have other channels in there. If you guys want to talk about TVs, comic books, movies, whatever, you guys can go ahead and chat it up in there. But hopefully this video has definitely helped you guys out. And as always, happy adventuring in Tamriel.